Yes, you're a nice clean kitty now. Oh, didn't see you there. Welcome to another Zelda Universe mailbag. As you can tell, things are a little bit different, namely, I'm not James. Here's what's happening. Ever since we started doing video mailbags, the mailbag has gotten very popular. So in order to answer more of your questions, we're going to have basically 2 mailbags a week. One James is going to do on Sundays, hopefully, and the other will be a midweek mailbag with a variety of ZU staffers. This week I have the pleasure of doing the mailbag. I am Annie Day, as I am known on the forums, editor for the ZUBC. So let's get started. The first question a couple people sent in, namely Roughblade027 and Leon J. Fletcher. They asked, what, in my opinion, was the best instrument used in the Zelda games, and what future instruments the Zelda games might hold. The best instrument in the Zelda game, hands down in my opinion, is the Ocarina of Time. It does anything from manipulate time to your advantage to warp you across the game world. It can pretty much do anything, and because of that, it's probably the most powerful Zelda item ever. As far as future Zelda instruments, who knows? They might not even do an instrument again, like they did in Twilight Princess, where all you had to do to musically unlock something was howl at the moon. So what I am hoping is that they put in a new instrument that's, creative and introduces something new and a new type of gameplay mechanic in a Zelda game. The next question, also a couple of people sent in, again, Roughblade027 and Acorification, and they asked how I think a Zelda MMORPG would work. And they go on to explain how it might work themselves, and but here's what I think. We all know Nintendo isn't really in the MMO business, or in online play at all. However, if Nintendo did make an MMO, I think it would change Zelda way too much. The Legend of Zelda is meant to be played by yourself. You are Link, you are the only hero, and you are the only one saving Hyrule. But in an MMO, everyone's the hero, everyone's trying to save the world at the same time, together, while fighting each other simultaneously. That's not Zelda. If there was a Zelda MMO, you'd have all the MMO basics, like the different classes and different line of quests. But if that did happen, that's all it would pretty much be. It would be a basic MMO with a bunch of Zelda names tacked on. Also, the thing that all MMOs have and Zelda doesn't is the huge, inconceivably large backstory and lore. I mean, granted, yeah, Zelda has a respectable, backstory in every game, but take games like World of Warcraft, for example. I mean, that game is massively huge, and with every expansion you're getting something new and another novel, pretty much, to read in order to catch up with the backstory. With Zelda, I hate to say it, but you're pretty much playing the same game over and over again. You're pretty much playing the same story. You're saving the princess or whatever. There are a few Zelda games that are an exemption to that rule, like, Majora's Mask. You weren't particularly saving a princess, you were saving the world, But each new Zelda game doesn't offer that much big of a backstory. So if there was to be an MMO made, they'd have to add a lot of stuff in order to make the game playable as an MMO, where you can play for hours and hours and hours and never finish. And I don't think anyone really wants that. I think people want to keep playing Zelda as it is, where you are the only hero, and you're on your lonely quest to save the world, or the princess. The next question comes from Deku Baby, and they write, Japan really seems to like Tingle. There are 3 games just for him, but why over at America people don't like Tingle the way the Japanese do? Is there a certain reason for this? Let me break it down for you. Tingle is a stupid little man that pretends he's a fairy, and overcharges Link for maps. He's very annoying, and he wears his underwear on top of his bright green jumpsuit. What is not to hate about that? But in all seriousness, I think the major difference between why the Japanese like Tingle and the Americans don't is culture. If you look at it, Japan makes a lot of weird and crazy, wacky games. Like, take Katamari, for example. That game's totally random, and I'm assuming it sells there. They keep making weird and wacky games because, I guess, people like it over there, and so they keep making it. That's my guess. The next question comes from Leon J. Fletcher, and they write, what Zelda game do you think has the best music compositions? I didn't actually have to think too hard about this question. I think it's pretty clear, at least in my opinion. Majora's Mask. Not only does that game have an excellent score, but it's used wonderfully, I think. Take the 3 days you have to save the world, for example. In each subsequent day, the music changes to kind of reflect how much time you have left. Like on the third day, the music becomes kind of dissonant to reflect how much little time you have to complete your quest before you have to use the ocarina. Even in the final hour, the music becomes somber and kind of depressing. It's almost as like the world has accepted its fate and is waiting for that final hour of doom. Music is a big part of what pulls you into a Zelda game emotionally, and I think Majora's Mask perfects that. And that's the 5 questions I can answer. Thanks for watching. I hope you like that we're answering more of your questions. Look forward to 2 mailbags a week, and until next time. Say bye, Mr. Kitty. Say bye. Useless.